Good evening. I will now call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. We have a quorum. All trustees are present. Well, welcome. This meeting is being webcast live and recorded. The recording of webcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. At this time, I would like to remind everyone of the procedures of public participation in tonight's meeting. Members of the public are encouraged to attend and address the board on any agenda item or topic within the board's jurisdiction. Public comments would be allowed a maximum of 5 minutes per speaker with a total of 20 minutes allocated for each item. If necessary, the president may adjust these times limits to ensure everyone has the opportunity to speak. Non-English speakers will be given double the time if a translator is used. Speaker request forms are available at the entrance of the boardroom and can be handed to Mr. Pacina and Ms. Gonzalez prior to public comment. Regarding complaints, if a concern is raised about an employee, the complainant will be informed of the appropriate complaint procedure. The first step is for the complainant to submit the concern in writing to the district office, after which the district will begin the investigation process to address the issue fairly and promptly. Complaints involving child abuse or unlawful discrimination will be handled in accordance with specific legal protocols. Please note that any document handed to the board during the meetings is subject to public records request in accordance with the California Public Records Act. The board prohibits retaliation against complainants, and all complaints will be investigated promptly and impartially. To be respectful in the meeting process, disruptive behavior will not be tolerated and may result in removal from the meeting. Thank you for your cooperation. If I can please have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Salute. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now I would like to have a motion to approve the October 8, 2025 agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. Roll call. Sandra. Aye. Sammy.
Aye.
Patty.
Aye.
Valerie.
Aye.
And aye. Presentations. Teaching assignment monitoring outcomes is update Ms. Elizabeth Mendoza.
Good evening, board. I gave you the page that I'm going to report on. The top page is the actual updated version of Priority 1, and the second page is what was provided to you in the original document on June 11th and then approved on June 24th. That way you can see the comparisons on the information that has changed. So the California Department of Education recently released the 23-24 Teaching Assignment Monitoring Outcomes, or what it's known as TAMO, on DataQuest. This was done mid-September. The CDE will report the 23-24 TAMO data in Priority 1 local indicators on the 25 school dashboards. Since the 23-24 TAMO data was not available on June 11th or June 24th when this original document came to you, we are required by CDE to update it to the 23-24. The one that was presented was 22-23, which was the most recent TAMO data at the time. Now that CDE has finished producing 23-24, which is the most updated teacher monitoring information, we have to now present that and put that on our dashboard, on the dashboard that's going to come out in November of 2025, so which is next month. And we are required to let you know that that update is occurring, but it's just as an informational item. Are there any questions? You don't wanna know the definitions of all that? I had a whole document prepared for you.
I look at numbers. You know, you bet.
Okay.
That's what I look at.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you very much.
We'll go to reports. We have middle and high school. We're see Carolina Garcia, put on here. This changed. Who is it? What is your name, honey?
Rafael Yost.
That sounds welcome.
Good evening, board members and district administrators, parents, and members. My name is Rafael Gonzalez, and I'm this year's John Muir Middle School ASB class president.
I think you're fine, but if you.
No, it's fun.
Good evening, board members, district administrators, parents, and community members. My name is Rafael Gonzalez, and I'm this year's John Muir Middle School class ASB president. Tonight, I'd like to share what's been happening on campus for the last few weeks. The end of first quarter is quickly approaching, and students are working hard to finish the quarter strong. The John Muir Middle School marching band, led by Mr. Gina, performed at the Cotton Parade last weekend and were fantastic. The end of our first sports seasons is quickly approaching with 2 sports already finishing, and cross country will participate in their league championships on next Monday. The John Muir Middle School volleyball team finished their season strong by qualifying for the playoffs before losing to a strong Kings River Harvey team. The John Muir Middle School flag football team finished off its season by defeating Pioneer in the championship game, winning their 3rd league championship in the last 4 years. After cross country finishes their season, next Monday will be on soccer and wrestling seasons. Good luck to all of our Wildcat teams. And in conclusion, Ms. Abu Baker and Mr. Sandstone will take John Muir Middle School leadership and ASB classes to the annual trunk or treat event on October 24th, where they'll participate in the event as well as be in charge of the pumpkin decorating contest. Thank you for letting me share all of the great things going on at JMMS, and I look forward to coming back and sharing again.
Thank you. Okay, high school. Looks like we have Jay, Jason, and Ashley.
Good evening, governing board. My name is Ashley Coronel.
My name is Jason Levitt.
And my name is Jade Fox, and we are here to give you the Corcoran High School report. We are excited to share that some of the wonderful things happening at Corcoran High School. It's been another exciting and eventful few weeks at our school. Our health occupations classes held a highly successful blood drive with 94 students who signed up and 69 successful donors. And an incredible show of compassion from our Panthers. CHS students also supported our community at the Cotton Festival, helping the health fair and our FFA Shine with their float entry.
Our band continues to impress, performing in last Saturday's Cotton Parade and future competitions, with this weekend in Visalia and gearing up for their next one at Fresno State. On campus, homecoming festivities are in full swing. Float building, lip sync rehearsals, and tomorrow's ASB hosted Powder Puff game, all leading up to our big rally and homecoming candidate reveal at Friday's game. We're also proud that our PBIS incentives are working, no interpersonal conflicts, and plenty of positive energy, earning our students a special taco vendor tomorrow with an extended lunch on campus.
Coming up, ASB will host Buff Ball, where our Mouse students take the volleyball court, and our fall sports teams are joining Bret Hart School to greet elementary students during morning drop-off this Wednesday. And just around the corner, ASB is planning a haunted hallway and movie night to keep the fun and spirit going strong. Corcoran High is thriving, our students are active, positive, and making Panther pride shine everywhere we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Pacino? President report?
Yes, first off, it just looks great to see our students in here reporting, right? So good evening, Board President, Cisneros, members of the board, staff and public. I wanted to give you just a quick update. We'll be doing a longer quarterly report at the end of this month and the next board meeting. But I want to highlight some things I think are important for everyone to know and really to give out some shout outs to our team. And when I say our team, it's everyone in the district that's doing an amazing job. So first, when I first came on board, this is a slide that I shared with everybody. And it's something that I picked up from previous work, and it's every system is perfectly designed to get the results it does. And when we asked in one of my listening learning sessions back when I first came on board, many of the things that I reported to the board, if you remember, was that there was a misalignment in curriculum. There were a lot of tests that were happening. We're using too much technology. There's a lot of comments like that, right? Teachers, students, parents. And we did see individual pockets of excellence, like what we saw on the left, but we didn't see necessarily true alignment yet, right? And so our goal is that we'd actually move to the right, that all the arrows are pointing in the same direction. And we're getting there. And I'm going to show you just a few examples of how that's happening. So we're going to go to the next one. So the first one was, I want to thank the board because these 3 priorities on the left is what you worked on, if you remember, when I first came on board. Now, these are important because they are the board priorities, but there are priorities as a district. And these are the what. What do we focus on, right? So you told us this is what we need to work on. And that was so important because it gave us the North Star. That actually shaped where we needed to go. The stuff on the right, the strategies, are what the team began to uncover as the how we're going to get there. And so that's so important. So one thing is we haven't deviated or moved from those items that are on the right. We've actually began to really focus on those. So almost for the last almost 2 years, that's really our focus. It's been that, right? Are we where we want to be? No. Is there still a lot of work to do? Yes. But the thing is that folks know that that's where we're going. So we're going to go to the next slide. One of the first things that I definitely heard loud and clear from the board was, this need, and also not only the board, but the community. So you're very aligned with your constituents, was the need for accountability. But the thing is how do you hold a system accountable if there's not a framework to do so, right? It's like if folks don't know what to do and it's not clearly spelled out, then it's hard to like really, achieve those expectations. So one of the first things I was so proud of our leaders, and some of them are in the room tonight, is we developed these leadership commitments and expectations. And so it was aligned to your priorities, right? Or our priorities as a whole, the district now, which the board said. And those are expected actions. So the principals and leaders know exactly what they're expected to do, right? It makes their job come to life. And this was not something that was done in isolation, but we worked on it together as a whole. And we will revisit this at the end of the year again, just like we did this past year, and see what are things that need to change so we can make sure that we're all living this. So it's not just a document. Okay, so this is the first level of accountability. This is some exciting information that I want to share with everyone is these scores that you see on the bottom are actually going to be posted tomorrow morning on the state website. Okay, and I want to just note that in 2014-15, that was the first year of the CASP. Okay, the state test that we take now, it's on computer, and the students take it in grades 3 through 8 and 11. That's where we scored back in 2014-15, which was not unusual because it was a brand new test for students. But if you look at the bottom in 24-25, we've grown substantially from where we started. Now, I'll also show you another slide that has some other data because 2018-19 was actually our highest year. So I don't want to be misleading. But if we look at the entire span of the time that testing, we've had growth, right? And so let's go to the next slide. So this slide is actually a deeper dive, and I'm not going to go into all this, right? And I love we do as well look at, for a majority of these things like on this table, we want to have less negative, right? We want to have more positive, less red, more green. And if you look up at the top, that's from 2018-19. And the reason why we put that year there is that that's the year that we had prior to the pandemic. Okay. And so that's the year that we look at to see how were we doing. Well, we were higher in 2018-19. That was our highest year ever. Okay, so I want to make sure that I identify that. then we had the pandemic, and then, you know, kind of everything, like, pretty much every school district in the nation went down, okay, they went backwards. So, but when you look at 24-25 and 22-23-24, we actually began to see growth, right? So if you look at English language arts, which is up on top, we were kind of the same, 30-31%, but then we began to grow. And in 24-25, we actually jumped 3%, right? So that's a pretty big, significant jump in this testing world. In math, we went from pretty much a good score of 23% in 2018, and then we dropped significantly, and then we began to move back up. But we began to see change really happen at 23-24, 24-25, and that's, you see that information there. The celebration, and I'll kind of end with this slide, is that with how we're averaging right now in our growth, the last cells, the pre-pandemic, the 3.35% and the 2.88%, we can achieve that this year if we continue to focus on what we're doing, and we will actually score higher than any other year. So this coming year, we have the opportunity to actually have our most growth overall, and we will go ahead of pre-pandemic levels, which is pretty amazing. And that's because the teachers are focused, they're looking at their work, they're working together. You know, our district office supporting, the principals are doing an amazing job of just, it's a team effort, everybody. And so I want to thank them for that. And then you can see by grade level where we're at, both in ELA and math. We have some great movement, like in grade 3 in ELA, they jumped 8% in 1 year. That's pretty amazing. 7th grade, John Muir jumped up 8%. And then the high school continued to grow 4%. So they're at 72%. And in math, we have a lot of red. So that's an area that we know we need to focus on, right? So that's why we're doing the work that we're doing now. And there's a trip that's actually on the agenda today, consent agenda, and that's to go visit Nashville. That's actually being 100% paid for by the core and the Gates Foundation, right? And what that work is allowing us to do is bring a group of teachers to see how we can make sure that we pick the right curriculum for the future, because it's a big investment, right? When we do an adoption, you're talking about at least $1 million, if not more. And so we want to make sure we pick the right one, but we're bringing teachers to the table, so they're actually there working with us alongside of us to decide what that's going to be. And so we also have the board. You guys have done a tremendous job in this and supporting us in the math academies. You guys remember the math academies on Saturdays, as well as you know, just the work in math overall that we're doing. So with that, the high school in 1 year grew 17% in math, and in 2 years, from 23-24 to 24-25, they've grown almost 30%. Okay, that's amazing. And so those teachers, when we talk to them, it's just, they're just really working together. They're focused, and so it's a really great thing. And you know, hats off to the teachers, to Mr. Larkin, and all the work that they're doing there to really focus and get our kids going. I shared this at the luncheon, if you remember, but those scores, 72% and 44% in ELA and math for high school, I'm pretty sure that we've beat out every school in Kings County, pretty much every school in Tulare, and we're right up there with neck and neck with Clovis High School. So we're pretty much there with Clovis Unified Schools, which is pretty amazing. And so again, as you see the teachers, please thank them. You know, the students are doing an amazing job. We saw 3 amazing students today. And so we still got a lot of work to do. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of work to do. But the more we focus and stay consistent, that's where we're going to see the growth, right? The next level. So another one, tier system supports. This is one of the actions that we had. And I want to share this with you because a lot of times we hear, and it's not just us, it's districts all over. And today I was with a group of superintendents from across 4 counties, Tulare, Kings, Superintendent Barlow was there with me as well. There were superintendents from Fresno County, Madera, and Merced, so 5 counties. And we're all struggling as districts in areas like universal preschool, right? That's an area that everybody's struggling with, and every superintendent talked about that as we shared our stories with a legislator from LA. He was there to hear us out. But one of the things that I know that our teams have been really focused on, and this is a team that consists at the school site level of teachers, our support staff, like our psychologists, our therapists, our counselors, and our administrators. They're meeting on a bi-weekly basis, looking at students who need support. That's part of that behavior support plan that you guys have been asking for, right? And so they're meeting on a consistent basis. This is the number of students with suspensions, one or more suspensions. And now it's apples and oranges. And I want to say just this, and I'm almost done. 23, 24, 24, 25 is the annual total. Okay. So that's, I can't pull it year to date, but that's the annual total. And 25, 26 is up to now, right? But if you look, we've dropped from 23, 24 to 24, 25, we dropped 0.6%. But if you look at schools like Kingslake, they went from 46% of the students at least being suspended once down to 9.3%, right? And although it's a small population, that's significant, right? If you look at, like John Muir, 13% to 9.6, but look at now in 25, 26, we're at 1.7% overall. So that means that if we continue to stay the course, right? We know that we're trying to help students and not just have them out of school. But if there's consequence, we want to follow that. So we do get that, right? If a student's misbehaving, we're going to provide the adequate consequence. But we see here already that we're trending well below what we were doing last year. And so that's really, again, a testament to our site teams that are really focused on making sure that they're meeting the needs of each and every student, right? And so their focus has been amazing this year. And so the last thing I want to say is I wanted to give you some current actions. So we go to the next slide. So some of the things that we've been doing, and it's not just myself, it's Dr. Vargas, it's the team overall, is we've been conducting listening and learning sessions. These don't go away because this helps to kind of see where we're at. Student advisories with teachers, with classified, all those are happening. And we already know students are saying, and my student advisories challenge us. They want to be challenged in class. They want to make sure that they're just not sitting there, but they want to be challenged. The other thing that that staff are asking for are things like training. So one of the things that the parents asked for was actually CPR and first aid training. So right away, Dr. Vargas worked with Heather, our nurse, and we actually put out a survey, and they're going to have access to those trainings. So it's pretty immediate, right? From when they said that we need this to when they're getting it. So I want to thank Dr. Vargas and Heather and Helen Copeland for getting that together. In addition, development of our accountability framework. Again, we do want to have that accountability, but that accountability needs to be clear. And so developing the leadership collective commitments, expectations that I showed you earlier, the new evaluation management process that we're going to bring back to the board, but you had a copy of that. That's aligned to the state expectations, the capsules. So no longer is it vague on how a leader is supposed to be evaluated, because very, very subjective, very vague. Now it's very objective and is very clear what they're being evaluated on. The development of department key performance indicators. So that means that when we come back to you as a board, you're going to see specific goals for each department. I'll give you an example. For James's area would be the ticket. So the technology ticket, right? So how long does it take for a technology ticket to be, answered, right? Resolved. And then we have like development of intentional site goals. The principal really working on those with both Dr. Vargas and myself. And then quarterly cycles of continuous improvement. So next week, we're going to have all the leaders come together in here, and they're going to look at their goals, and they're going to pick one thing that they're struggling with. But it's not to sit there and hammer them on why they're struggling. It's to help them. What we're going to do is we're a consultancy. So we're going to sit here and be thought partners together so they can get ideas from their peers and walk away with solutions. And so that's happening on a quarterly basis. We haven't had that in some time. And so that again is accountability, but not accountability in the sense of where where it's the opposite, right? It's a negative. And so the last thing I'll say is Dr. Vargas has done an amazing job as she's come in. And she's really focusing us on 5 key areas of learning. And so we have 5 teams, and on these 5 teams, the principals are the leads. Okay, so we have a team that's around professional learning structures, one that's around instructional learning practices, instructional practice, one that's around interventions, one that's around PBIS, and one that's around data and assessment. And the principals are leading this work because we're also building capacity in them. So they can themselves say, hey, we help build a district initiative, right? So that's the last thing. So with that, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I know it's a little bit longer than normal in my report, but I did want to share this with you. And because we do all those things, these are the outcomes that we get, right? When we're focused, those are the results. So with that, again, I just want to thank our staff from our classified to our certificated to our management, doing an amazing job. We got a lot of work to do, so I'm not going to say that we don't. We got behaviors we need to address and whatnot, but we're on the right track. So with that, I yield my time, Madam President.
Thank you. Board of Trustees, any reports? I didn't. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I also attended the parade, and I only have one word about John Muir Band, and it was amazing. They just shocked me, like I just stepped back, and the amount of kids that are participating and the quality is amazing. So thank you. I spoke to Mr. Whitmore that day. I was able to run into him, and I spoke to him about it. I told him he was great. That was amazing, and now I plan on going to a concert. How's that?
Well, that is exactly what I was going to say. And the high school band was really good too. But I remember a day not too long ago when, you know, I don't think they could play harmony. You know, and they're just simply great. I just appreciate all of them.
And I didn't want to take anything away from the high school band. They were great too.
Yeah.
But it just, that age, it
Yes.
surprised me, and it was amazing. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. I just wanted to add one thing to Mr. Pacino in your report, that when you were at the luncheon and you shared those numbers, the gentleman that was sitting next to me from, I believe is the gentleman that's doing the Academy for Math, he was very impressed, and he said, you guys need to show this. You guys, how are you guys doing this? This is something that you need to share with everybody. So I felt you know, very appreciative that he saw that and he noticed the numbers. So I want to thank everybody for getting us to that point where they're looking at as a staff, what is it that you guys are doing here in corporate? Thank you.
If I could say one thing to that, I forgot in my report. We actually, because of this work, we have in March been asked to have districts come to our district to learn about what's going on. So we're going to have several, probably a dozen rural school districts that are going to come from at least 3 counties that are to come visit to see what's happening in our schools.
Thank you. Okay, Corporate Faculty Association? No one there? And how about the School Employees Association? Very good. All right, we are here for public comment. I believe we do have one. Edna, I'm going to apologize, Ingo Anso. Yes. Please, you can come up to the podium.
My first time doing this, so I'm gonna be kind of nervous and it's not very bad. You can print my name so I said.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, I'm over there, plug it up. There you go. If you have to hold it.
So just hold it there.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi, my name is Edwin Wato. It's my first time speaking up front, but something I think I should say that I've been here for 34 years. I went to school back. I graduated Kings Lake as a high school diploma in that school. My kids are 3 of them for attending John here, 8th, 7 and 6, and then the 4th grader, and then the TK and preschool. And I was so comfortable in everything until last month on the 23rd. I had an incident with my daughter getting personal part touched. And I didn't get notified that day until the next day. I was the last one to know from the principal, vice principal, when he calls me in the morning and then he tells me, and I was like, why didn't you guys tell me right away? So I guess they told the other parents, but not me. And I was upset. I did tell him, you did the wrong thing. You realized. Leave it to last. Because you guys have kids. You guys should know the pain as a mother and father, how this feels. I'm trying to be strong, but I just can't. She's been through a lot. And just her, I see a lot of things that she has changed. Her personality, she's more different, changing little by little. I went to the district, I did everything that I was supposed to do. Everything's coming out well. Just the fact that I had to move my kids away from the district I moved. Because my daughter, they started asking her questions. My older son, he said, that person comes back, I'm just not saying no. I don't, they have straight A's and B's. I didn't want their grades to go down and start really bad in school. My 7th graders like, Mom, they're starting to ask me, is your sister the one that did? And I was like, you know what? I think it's just time for us to move out. I didn't want to, but I don't want my kids to go down on their grades when they were actually doing good. And I just hope you guys do the right things that's supposed to be taken, because that's something serious to me. I went through it young, and like I told her, I'm gonna fight for you until the right things are done. And I just hope you guys understand, and I just wanted to let it out to you guys. He's been helping the superintendent, he's been helping me. He's been, like whenever I want to talk to him, he's been there for me. As well as the vice principal, was just the fact that they let me know last. Other parents knew but me. It's just the only thing where I'm upset with, because that was something serious to me. So yeah, that's all I wanted to let you guys know. Okay, thank you.
Action items. Consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Make a motion.
I'll second. Sandra second. All right, roll call.
Question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Pacino, thank you for the response on my inquiry. Although I kind of agree with what was responded, but I'd like to see the 21, 22, and 23 registers for that business. And I'd like to see the originals printed up by Ms. Alvarez and not a computer generated spreadsheet, please. If I need to pay for those, I'll be more than glad to do that. Thank you.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
I also have a question on that. Yeah, do you have another code besides materials and supplies for that item? I don't think that falls under materials and supplies.
That is the code that we would have for that item. Yeah.
You guys don't have a code for meetings for those type of expenses?
there's travel and conference, but that would be for expenses outside of the district.
Roll call, Sandra?
Aye.
Sammy?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
And I. Administration will now move into the first reading of the following board policies. These are being presented for initial review. No action is required at this time. We will be reviewing dismissal, suspension, disciplinary actions, and dismissal, suspension, disciplinary action merit system, preschool, early childhood education. Teaching and learning, JDT Consultants, Inc., Therapeutic Behavior Services Contract, Ms. Elisa Vargas.
Okay, so I was able to provide you some update on the cost from last year, which amounted to roughly about 160K. And the primary allocation was to direct student services. So just as a reminder, this year, the investment, albeit a little bit higher, is towards building capacity so that in the future, we have to rely less and less on this company to provide the direct service. I will also note that 50,000 will be covered by the CYBHI grant, and another portion, all of the coaching, can be covered under Educator Effectiveness Fund, which has to be spent by this year. And so then there would only be a small portion remaining that would be covered by the special services budget. So if we have any questions, I'm happy to field any more of those today as well.
So I do have a question because you're gonna it's gonna go towards the staff implementing more. Will you guys be reviewing their job classifications to ensure that those items are targeted on there?
So there are currently 2 job classifications. They're the behavior support aides, and they are getting a higher level of coaching and training and support. What the other group is receiving, so yard, para, they would be getting some of the things that our teachers might be getting in some of their early coursework about just child developmental, like some basic things that are just going to help them be able to do their jobs more efficiently. So it wouldn't necessarily be additional work. It's just broadening their capacity. If they see an incident happening at recess, what kind of language can they use to help de-escalate? So it's just giving them more tools to be able to continue to do the job that they're doing.
Do I have a motion to approve? To approve. Second? I will second. Roll call, Sandra?
Aye.
Sammy?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
And I. Future agenda items? Okay, identifying.
I have something. I would like a report on our electric buses. I haven't heard anything about them for a while, and I'm just really interested in how that's.
Also, I know I brought it up last time and I was told there is no schedule, but the use of the facilities for other athletic groups in the city. I think that needs to come up for discussion, please.
Closed session items, the following closed sessions, topic has been identified, conference with labor negotiator. Any public comment on the closed session item? Okay, we'll go ahead and adjourn to closed session at 6:39. Thank you.